So today's topic, my dear ones, is listen to yourself. Now, I know some of us might say, well, I do listen to myself. Yes, well, maybe the self I'm talking about is not our small human selves. It's our great self. To listen to the heart self so that you and I can become absolutely fluent in the language, in the art of the heart. That's what today is all about. And when we do listen in this month dedicated to the heart, to the deeper inner mind, which is the heart, to the higher consciousness that is the only truth, I wonder, do you ever wonder what we might hear when we listen with this intensity and complete focus and silence to the heart? I believe that we're going to hear what all of the beautiful mystics and all of the wise ones have heard. There's nothing else to hear at this level of awareness in this higher consciousness. And Ernest Holmes reminds us very well when he says, when you listen to that inner wisdom and grace, you receive the guidance, and you receive the wisdom of that infinite, amazing presence. And when you speak, he says, your word, and when you think your thoughts, and when you make your affirmations with absolute conviction, you discover the power within you. And you know it actually is. And he says, you know it actually responds to you. It responds to you. He says, because the spirit within you is God, omniscient presence and being. He says, and the sovereign source also of your infinite intelligence, your wisdom, and your creative power. That's what you hear when you listen at this level of awareness. What an amazing thing, because God is all in all. And with God being all in all, Ernest Holmes also says, who is the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit, he says, God being all in all, there is absolutely an answer to every question you might have. There is a solution to every problem you might have. And that answer and solution will come to you when this happens. When you can be still and know, be still and know, be still and know God, good, life, whole life, know it. And he says that's not going to happen until you and I manage to calm the storms of mental and emotional disruption and let those storms die down. They must die down, and you and I must come to calm and peacefulness before we can be still and know God. And this wouldn't be stated unless it was possible for you and for me to do this, to accomplish this, to achieve this. Because he says that the worried, harassed mind cannot get an answer or a solution to anything, but the peaceful mind can. So it's all about calming ourselves bringing ourselves down out of mental and emotional storms so that we can indeed be still and know something better, something greater, and accomplish whatever it is in our hearts and minds to accomplish, whether it is an answer to a question or whether it is a solution to a problem, whatever that is. And you and I, he said, are equipped to be able to do that. It is in our spiritual DNA, the know-how of that. We come in able to do this because deeply imprinted upon each and every one of us is that infinite, intelligent, omniscient presence and being, and yours and mine is the privilege of giving birth to all of its good. And that's one of the ways we do it. Be still and know that I am, the I am that I am. By the way, that video wasn't about all those people up there only. It was absolutely about you. You. You, the I am. Always everything is about you, the I am. Not just things that happen in the past in history, not just what happens to other people, but what's happening in and through you. For the knowing, for the recognition, for the identification with you. But we have to recognize it. We have to identify with it. We have to say yes to it. And the ways to do that are very few and simple. Very few and simple. Now, that's all well and good, you say to me, but what about the how of getting there? What about how to move into all of that? What about it? Well, the first thing is, of course, to be still and know. And when you've calmed yourself down enough, that's going to happen. So you have to do whatever it takes to calm yourself down enough, whatever that is. And for me, that is, I go to the one thing, always, whatever state I'm in. Any kind of challenging, disruptive state, I go to. There is one mind, one life, I say to myself. There's one life, one mind. That life is whole life. That life is omniscient presence. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. That's what I go to. That's my go-to. And sometimes I just say the word omniscience over and over again, presence over and over again. It really is whatever I'm moved to do to calm myself down. And let me tell you, I get plenty of opportunity to do that. Just like anybody else, I get every opportunity to do that. And I do it a lot. So be of good heart and know it happens and it works. It works. It really does work. So be still and know. And then I think after we get still and know, we must experience a very, very profound and very, very deep, deep desire. Deep, deep longing and yearning and desire and intent. Truly, to know the I am. To know the I am. Now remember, the prodigal was only the prodigal for as long as the prodigal chose to be the prodigal. And you and I, all of us, have prodigal experiences. We could consider ourselves the prodigal. Why? Because we wandered far away from home. That's why. Now, what happened to the prodigal was when he chose not to be a prodigal anymore, when he was sick and tired of his conditions and had enough of his conditions, he came to himself and he decided to rise up out of the condition and return home. And what did he find when he did that? A waiting, we're told, waiting Father or presence that welcomed him with open arms. And then what happened? Something moved within him because of the Father's reception and his decision to go home. And he was moved into honor and celebration and back into fullness and back into plenty again. And there is that something within us that can trigger that kind of movement of spirit, because as Ernest Holmes says, remember this, no human being ever created a darn thing. Well, he didn't say darn. He said no human being created anything. Spirit creates everything. And what we do is use, through its power and its energy, what is being created for our good. We use that energy, that creative power that is within us. We use it. But we use it for good and only good for ourselves and for everything and everyone. So you and I can rise up out of our condition when we get still and when we know. And then what? Well, then, when we're still and when we know, here's what we do. And nobody explains this as succinctly and simply as the good Moira Foxe does, great metaphysician. He says, take your mind when you're still and when you are open and receptive to know the power within you. You're still enough to take your mind off your conditions and problems, your need for answers, and you put your mind on God, totally on God, which is good, which is life, which is light, which is love. And you keep your mind stayed on God and only God, no matter what. And you may not always feel like you're getting it or you understand it fully or you know it fully, but nevertheless, keep your mind on your good. Keep your mind on your good. And then you will be in praise and gratitude and thanksgiving, and they are all benedictions and blessings, and you will be open to dissipating your conditions, because where your mind is, that's where you will create whatever it is you're creating. So if your mind is not on it, it's not in your life. If your mind is on it, it is in your life. So that's where we put our mind. We simply put our mind on the infinite, omniscient presence that is in not only us, but everything and everyone. And we glorify it, sing its praises. We're in gratitude to it. We love it. We interact with it all of the time. Omniscience, omniscience, omniscience. That's all there is. Presence, presence, presence. That's all there is. That's the cure-all. Oh, it's stated simply. Is it easy? No, it's not. So in the beginning, it'll take us a while to catch on to it, but whether we believe it or not, whether we think it or not, whether we feel it or not, we state it, we state it, we state it. There's one life. That life is whole life. That life is omniscient presence. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That life is all life now. That's how we do it. If we're thinking of somebody else, we think their name and we say the very same thing. There's one life, and that life is God life. And that's how it happens, my dear ones. Now listen, what we have heard this morning is a wonderful thing to know, but it pales by comparison to embodying it. That's what we're called to do today. Embody what we have heard. Embody what we know. Start thinking from it, feeling from it, living from it, deciding from it, moving from it. And then we will get clarity to walk along the path home with grace and ease, without any encumbrance at all, because Spirit will go before us and prepare the way and make the crooked ways smooth, and we'll make the rough way smooth and the crooked way straight, because Spirit is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. If we know it, if we think it, if we feel it, and if we say it over and over again, until it's not a saying, it's a feeling, and we've absorbed it. That's what's offered to you and to me today. Now, is that worth, ask yourself, rolling up your spiritual sleeves and committing much more deeply to the realizing of the I am and the who you are in truth, and who and what all life is in truth? Is it enough of an impetus and an incentive for you and for me to take it higher? To take it higher, to go higher, to rise up out of our conditions and to return home unto the Father, which is higher conscious awareness. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you able? Do you want to? Do you? Oh, I see some of us do. That's good. That's a start. But if we do, if we put the shoulder of our spirit to it and know that Spirit is the doer and doing it, all we have to do is get out of its way and trust that is so, then I'm telling you, we will rise up. We will indeed return home unto the Father. We will indeed experience a beautiful arm welcoming, and we will experience the celebration of life, and we will know who we are, and we will have donned our sovereign being, and we will go forth into sacred service with our hearts singing and our heads ringing with the consciousness that God is all in all. There is only God, and God is all there is, and that goodness and lifefulness and heartfulness shows up in and through and by means of me and every individualized expression of Spirit on this plane and in all of creation. That's the way life is in truth. That's how your life can be. That's how my life can be in truth. And so I know you're going to join me in this great endeavor so that you and I can serve this beautiful world right now the best way we can, in higher conscious awareness of our unity, our harmony, our oneness, our togetherness, our belongingness, our ability to rise up through any condition and always be in the power and the presence of life and Spirit. Yes, it's for you, every single one of us, no matter, and don't go there, what the past has been right until now. What I have thought right until now, what I have done right until now, matters not. It's what I am here and now, what I choose to be here and now. Will I choose to stop being the prodigal, and will I choose to rise up out of my conditions and just be the life that I am? I'm knowing you will, and I'm knowing it's going to make a huge difference. And life will be the joyous celebration that it was always meant to be in a world that works for everyone, my dear ones. That's your power. It's my power too. That's everyone's power. Let's use it for heaven's sake. Yes, because we can.